like later, I realized what really takes you to the next level is talking own heartache, talking about your own traumas and your struggles, and people that'll draw people to you as well. I music my whole, but I knew that lyrically I was catchy and crap. I could put words together and punchlines and make you laugh, and then I started working on my own writing skills. And all right, I'm about to sample this song because I like how it sounds and the cookout, like to come and talk. I like, I look at how other people react to music and them dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to redo that song or reincorporate that into my own style. So I started just working on my own songwriting skills. But in the beginning, I been knew that I was tough because in them days you had to rap in front of people. So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
20, 30 people, I'm about men, grown men, we standing in a line, and I'm too young to get in the club, and I'm rapping, and people like, oh, this nigga, golly, like. So I know I got the talent, but it's just like how to create this into a songwriting, or how to create this into a persona, a personality, and how to make it work for me.
Cause you went through a lot of names. Dang, you went through a lot of names. When did Plat stick? Like you had a bunch of things. I'm like, which one he gonna be called? Cause you would say all of these random. So and then you got a tattoo. So we was like, yeah, that's it. That's what it's gonna be. How did
Yeah,
you?
Plat stuck after like I said, like Lot was my biggest inspiration. So he stuck that to me. Like I went through a lot of little stupid little names and called myself this and that. But I had a song that I did for him called Platinum Plat. Then he was doing the hook, and I made a couple of verses.
What you working with?
Yeah,
Plat.
he was like,
Duh.
"That's your name, like that's your name." Like, so he just like gave it to me. And then when I started coming around people, because they moved to Plum Branch, and when Lot started hanging tough in Plum Branch, I started coming around, and everybody like, "Hey, Plat, do this or do that, Plat." And I'm like, I'm looking at these folks like these folks calling me Plat. Like he had that much clout. Well, these folks literally everybody calling me Plat. So it was him. He just gave me that. He gave me that name. It stuck. It didn't go nowhere.
How did you feel when you watched 12 Years a Slave? They were real. I know it was a movie, but there was a real man, and they named him Plat because of his musical expertise and
I
how
never,
he was able.
I ain't never tapped that. I ain't
Yeah,
never
I
tapped
was like,
it.
what?
I gotta watch it again, but I never tapped that much. But when they said his name was Platt, I was like, what kind of shit is that? Like, but I ain't never really, cause I watched the movie, but that's I don't like the depressing
But
ass
you
slave.
see, I read the books too, though. But yeah, it's a real. It was a real man. Yeah, he. I mean, this man was like the creme de la creme when it came to his ear in music, and he used to play for all of them. Whatever they wanted by ear, he could. Yeah, he would play it. But it was so funny because I was like, I had to rewind. What they calling him? Like they
Yeah,
calling him Plat. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, like double T.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But when did you first perform on your own? You remember what that felt like?
by myself or with like other
Yeah,
people.
by yourself. Yeah.
Um,
Because
I
I know
first
you try to be like a part of a group, then y'all try to be a part of a big thing, but when you actually perform by yourself, were
yeah,
you ready?
no, I was nervous as hell. I still get nervous as hell to this day. Like I get warm, full of butterflies and anxiety. But when I open my mouth and I start rapping, it come on out, and it's like I ain't even on stage. It's like it's an out of body experience. First performance was in Greenville. We was doing a longevity show, and they was shopping a pretty big song I had, twerk, twerk. It was like a girl song or something, and I rocked it by myself, and I did pretty good. So they kind of like they put they kind of like put me in or another artist together, which is Tad, which is Juice, but at that time he was Tad. But they was like, all right, we put y'all together as a group based off of that song, but it was a solo song at first. But I kind of got on stage, I killed it. Started, having my little, my little groupies. They was like, oh my God. So I kind of started feeling myself, but I was comfortable on stage by myself. And after that, I did a couple more performances. Actually had the audition for the record label. I had so many big songs recorded in the studio that around the way that people like that I kept having to do songs. So I was on stage by myself for 20 minutes. So I was like, yeah, I can do that.
And you said a record label. So what happened did they want to do a deal with you? Like what happened with it? Because I know a lot of people ask me, why is your brother not signed? I was like, well, he could have been signed.
Yeah. We was technically signed to Longevity. There was like a family label that our cousins and aunts and everybody was on the board, and it would have been great. It was almost like a mini what you want to say, like a mini independent company, something like a Cash Money or something like that.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
We had a lot of artists on the label, but the only thing that didn't work with it was I think the people on the board and how they tried to push us, which personally it helped me, but I think at that time they should have just let the young boy do their thing. Like, that's the only thing. I think they should have let the younger guys do their thing and take reins and like, let's push let's push the older artists that we got. That's great, the production, but let these young boys run wild. But they kind of had us in an artist development style, like they was trying to watch our words, the game, our music. But
they trying to construct the image with y'all too.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
There was a big thing. They were trying to be careful with it because at that time you didn't market no younger person to be talking all that crazy stuff on the track. Like, you trying to market the younger guys to go with the girls or don't bring too much friction. But we was actually talking about the stuff that we was doing. Like, we was actually talking about, the little beats we was into. We were talking about our own personal experiences. But they told me, like, at a young age, like, you got to watch what you say. You got to watch what you put because you're going to bring that energy to you. So I still remember that to this day. Like, you really got to watch what you say. You got to, because if you talk this, you're going to track whatever you say, you're going to track.
Okay. And so did you decide, well, I'm going to step back from wanting to be signed because it sounds like it was going in a direction that you weren't really liking?
I like the situation, but I think when it came to comfort level,
okay,
like, we dealt with longevity. Like, you got picked up, you had the shows. All we had to do was worry about auditioning. We smoked at auditioning. We like, they took care of us. Our older cousin Dweller, she bought us food. She kept us we stayed in her big nice house to come up here and do shows. When we had shows in Spartanburg or we had shows in Florence, we always came back to her house. She paid for all the food. She paid for stuff to get on the radio. She paid for us to do promo when we Atlanta and stuff. Our lot paid for everything. So it was a comfort level that, you know what I'm saying, you just having fun, you just taking the experience on and you laughing and having fun with your partners. You ain't really thinking about, you thinking you signed already, but you ain't got no money in your pocket. But like I said, I was a finesse kid. Like, I run around the school, I go on the hard drive and take music off, and I'm telling nobody this, but I'd be like, Locke got a new album, and I press up some of this unreleased stuff out of the studio, and I was booming off of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I money part didn't really, because it was more so of the experience, having fun with the experience. And
but I noticed when people try to constrict the artist or put them in a box, I don't never see that working. When they try to tell artists like what, trying to help with their image, try to tell them what not to say. I haven't seen it with big artists, with local art. It doesn't work.
No, I don't, because it's almost like it's killing your creative, because you're growing as an artist.
Right.
You're out who you are, and you're growing from being an adolescent, and you're growing into like being a young adult, and you're having. But it's in the interest of when you trying to do a label to, you're protecting you got to protect your investment. So they were kind of protecting their investment. I don't want, which they help. I don't want y'all to go to jail, or want y'all to, if we got a show and these people that you putting in your raps, and we get into it at the show and we get to fight, somebody get hurt, you got to protect your investment. So they was on more of the development level of, hey, you kind of got to lock down a little bit. But we eventually got from under that wing. We did our thing anyway, and we kind of just did what we wanted to do. But at that time, and being that young, I think that experience gave us a lot of knowledge of gave me a lot of knowledge about how to be a songwriter. Like, I don't really care about the coming off in my perception. I care about the music and making you like the music, making you feel the music. So I don't care about what you think of me after I do the music. Like, if you think I'm soft, or if you think that I'm a little too around the edges, I don't really care about that. I really care about the music. And then when you meet me in person, then you can make your own assumption of the person that I am.
Do you feel like what you went through, childhood, adolescent, helped prepare you on this path? Because every rapper, a lot of singers too, like especially like back in the day, like Whitney and Bobby and all of them, like they dealt with some type of adversity, some type of trauma, something that it might have been normalized at the time, but kind of like fueled them to be able to just write, or just be able to use their talent. Even with, look at Michael Jackson, look at all the Jacksons, what they said they went through. I remember recently they showed that house. You seen that real house? I'm like, what? And so do you feel like what you went through? Right.
That one little house?
Yes.
Of course though, my I was rough. Like, man, when I started doing music, I felt what I want to say. Like, because I was really riding around and I was rough. Like, I was a rough little dude. So I felt like it was a good outlet to express myself. Not only that, I felt like it gave me another way of being poetic, because it go back to me writing rhymes, because I don't write rhymes no more. Like, I ain't wrote rhymes in years. I kind of like orchestrate it in my head and do all my music. Like, anybody that I work with now, the producers and stuff, they'll tell you like Plat just kind of rapping. But at that time, me writing the rap down on the paper prepared me to do more stuff. Like, go back to the high school days when I was in GT drama. A lot of people don't know this. Like, I had this teacher name that wanted me to, but I thought that shit was kind of soft, and I thought it was, kind of weak. I'm like, man, I'm not about to be in no plays, and the boys see me in some plays and stuff. But she was really pissed off at me because I did not stay in drama, and I kind of like did sports instead, shot basketball and stuff. But she wanted me to stay in drama because it was so easy for me to memorize a monologue. Like, I'd take a monologue and look at it for a couple hours, and the next day I'll come in there and kill it and improv a little bit, because I'm so good at remembering my raps. But she don't know that. She just thinking like this boy is a phenomenal actor. But it's like I'm not no phenomenal actor. I just know how to memorize my raps. So if you give me a 2-paragraph monologue that I got to remember about, I had a monologue about answering the phone and getting upset about something. But I acted out so good and I did so good that she was just like, oh my God, like, but it went back for me remembering my raps. Like, she was real pissed off about the fact that that I had stopped wanting to do that because I ain't up and shit like Shakespeare and all. I ain't want to do all that.
How did you notice that you grew as an artist over time? Because you got life happening at the same time where you trying to grow as an artist. So do you change with the times, or are you trying to stay? Because I mean, that's just like all the greatest that we see. And even said he struggled with that a little bit. You know, like you got to change. You know, especially if you ain't in it no more. You know, so was it hard for you to change with the times, especially when you start having kids, especially when you getting older? Did you struggle with that?
Nah, because I wasn't writing the rap down, so you ain't rehearsing nothing. So when you kind of composing the music in your head, it can't. It's just real. So it's easier for me to tell you about my experiences and the things that because I'm just giving you what's in my head. I'm not really writing it down. I'm not rehearsing nothing. So it became easier to be kind of like one with myself, and it let you know that my experience. I think my music got better as I got older because I was able to talk about me a little more. And you still can get the lines, you still can get the crafty stuff, you still can get clever, Plat, the little witty lines, but more so you got some of my real life. Like you got some of my
Do you
real.
think it's because you didn't have to prove? Remember how early on I gotta prove I can do the punchline. I gotta prove that I can rap. But now that you in it and everybody knows you can rap, do you feel like it's more genuine now? Like, I don't have to prove to you that I can twist this bar or.
Yeah, I ain't never thought about it like that, but yeah, that is true. And the way music went, because at that time it was all about that, and you know that.
Yeah.
So at that time it was all about that. It was all about, Wayne, a lot of the punchline guys,
more lyrical, yeah.
And then it went to more of more of a songwriting and a more of a storytelling, which that's what because music always come back. It started out in the early 90s. That's what I fell in love with. So it always went back to that of me, original story as a kid, just putting little drops in it, just putting little drops in it.
I got it ain't no game, but it's gonna be fun. So I got a couple of lines here from a couple of your songs. Some of them old, and then some of them kind of current. I want you to let me know what you meant when you said this, okay? So Plat ain't got shit to do with Christopher Moton.
Well, I meant when I said Plat ain't got shit to do with Christopher Moton, I mean like the person that we was talking about earlier in the interview, the little kid. You know my story. Like Chris got to tell you that part. Plat is the person that go in the studio and record, and when you see me, I'm out gambling, I'm fucking with the boys, I'm the party, I'm the life of the party. That's who you see. But when my family and us having this conversation, and when you see my kids, you see my wife, that's Chris. And I said Christopher Moton because that's my real name, but that Plat ain't got with that because it's a separate entity. Like I know how to separate it, but people love Plat. People love Plat. People like Chris too when you get to know him, but Chris got a little more heartache, a little more stress that he deal with, like a little more. Is
Chris also more guarded? Because it seems like Plat is more outgoing.
Way more guarded, way more when it comes to things, way more vulnerable. Like Chris is more just so of the careful guy, and I'm gonna be very strategic with you. Now, Plat, I would deal with you however it come if we out
impulsive, just not even acting. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a separation. I said that line to say that, hey, it's a difference. Like the music image I off, and it's a difference. Now, when you see my personality in real life, I bring those two together because that is when I'm a worker bee when I get in the studio, just like I work a real job. So I'm knocking out the songs, I'm doing great content, but Plat is also a persona. So if it's time to do a show, if it's time to do video, I'm gonna show you that don't nobody have fun like Plat.
What about my dad said this shit contagious hanging around these broke dudes?
That's fact. I mean, that's self-explanatory. That's facts because
But what do you think he was trying to tell you?
Yeah, he was trying to tell me, man, be careful of your company. Like, I am careful of my company to this day. Like, I watch who I have around me, the people that I have around me. If you're family, you're like a real close friend to me. When I call you and I need you, you pull up. You're just not around me just to drink and smoke with me. I'm not picking you up. I'm not around you because I need. Every time you call me, you need something and shit like that. Like
I like that you use contagious because somebody can have something and they don't intentionally mean to give it to you, but they gave it to you. So I like to use the word contagious because it might not always be intentional.
Because I promise you, I got homeboys like that I love to this day, but I've separated from. Like I got maybe 10 to 15 homeboys that I keep in contact with from back in the day. The rest of them are in the street. That go for cousins too. Contagious, strung out, still doing the same things. And when I come around them, it's what can I give you?
Yeah.
What can I give you?
What about execs telling me to chill and just play the field with my sex appeal?
That go back to the longevity thing.
Because you said the line as if it resonated with you and pissed you off at the same time.
Yeah, it did, because they'll tell me to watch you, like watch your mouth, like and do this and do that. But just like you said, you gotta let the artist be the artist. But in the same breath is right, because if your sex appeal get the numbers, man, you gotta get your numbers, man. Get your numbers, man. Get your numbers.
Mm-hmm. You can reel them in with that, but then when they come to it, it ain't even about that.
Man, you get your numbers, and then you can do what you want to do. But get your numbers, dog.
Yeah. And the last one, I just want to hear the people highlight Encore one time. Was that deeper than just saying you want to hear it? What did you mean by that?
Well, I just wanted to, because that was a straight drop album. That was the outro on the straight drop album. I was just saying, like, I just want y'all to say y'all want another album from me, because that was the first album I had did in almost 7 years when I did drop. So when I said I just want to hear the people holler out Encore, it's just like, I want you to give me one more, and give me another album, which I did with Gambino Project Part 2, and they just tell me you want something else. Like when the pop tell me they want something else, I can come in. I don't care. Like, cause I'm working with these people now. They set up the interview with my guy Mo and JR Beats, and I got a small little team. I got a serious interview coming up. I think I got one with Hood Saviors, but they just throwing stuff my way because they're new to me. They're new to my content. They're new to my album. So these people, like, not JR, but the other people that JR done set me up with. So they're like new fans, but they're also working on the team. And I ain't never surrounded myself with a team, because I felt like, which I've been in a position where people want. I had this cat in Alabama. wanting to manage me, but I just didn't like what he was telling me. Like, you putting out too much music, Chris. But he was right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to start listening to people when it comes to having a little team when you're trying to push some music. But that's what I meant when I said encore one time. Just tell me you want another album, and I got you.
Right. Before we get into your love life and your family life to date, give me your Mount Rushmore rappers only from any era, not just local, not just current rappers, any era. What's your Mount Rushmore? The top 5?
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's easy. That's Tupac. That's Nas. That's Biggie. That's Wayne. And that's Jay.
Oh yeah, okay. That's a good solid. Mm-hmm. Now, how many kids do you have total?
I got 4 kids.
Okay, what's the ages?
Ages is 13, 11, 7, and 5. I have to slow down.
All right. So how old were you when you had your first?
All by the same woman.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. How old were you when you had your first one?
Man, 13 years. I was 22 years old.
So do you remember the first time you seen your wife now before she was your wife? Do you remember the first time you saw her?
Oh yeah, I seen her. We went to school together. I seen that kind of go back to the question you asked. Was I in love with somebody in high school? I really did like her in high school, but I was too intimidated to talk to her because she was a little older than me. She talked to older guys. So I was intimidated. I thought that was out of my league. But later
in life, y'all connected.
No, later in life, I was that guy. Like later in life.
That's what I'm saying. So at what age did y'all reconnect? Because y'all knew each other, of course. I mean, y'all was talking, you knew of your acquaintances, right?
I had an afro. She braided my hair. We went to middle school. Well, she didn't come to our middle school, but she did go to our middle school, but I was in elementary then. So I went to middle school and high school with her. She was 2 grades ahead of me. And I remember the first day I seen her walk on the bus. Well, I walked on the bus. She was already on there. She had a little childish hair bows in her head, like the little hair, the girls. I'm like, golly. I don't remember this girl from last year, but I seen her. She was very herself, and we went to school all the years. Me and her she wrote all kind of nice stuff, and let her tell it. She had a crush on me too,
but you wasn't aware.
I was aware, but I just thought it was a playful crush, and plus I had a girl too. So
okay. So what age were you when y'all reconnected as adults?
She was in college, so I want to say when I was 19 or 20. And I had my own apartment and stuff, own car though, so I had to be like 20, 19 or 20. Yep.
How did that happen since she was off at school? Did y'all still see each other in passing?
No, yeah. She came home and she was at Pizza Hut with one of her friends from down here. She was at Pizza Hut in Greenwood, and they was eating at Pizza Hut, and I came down, and we were about to go to a movie or do something, and there was a Pizza Hut, but I paid for the food, and I was there with my other cousin. We were just laughing and joking, and I was just trying to show out, and I was fresh, and I had a little pocket full of money. I had my own whip. I'm like, man, y'all over there at Pizza Hut? I'm about to pull up over there, and I was trying to just show out for her, and you know how that go. And I got her number, and she went back to school, and I was calling her from the house phone at the college.
Mm-hmm. So y'all started hanging out. When did it become serious for you? Like, when did you know, okay, this might be serious?
I think when she came home from college and she said she was to Lander, which is a college down here, and we started kicking it hard. Then started staying with me a little bit end of the night, and we just started going on little dates. But before then, we had been on the phone so much, so I kind of knew that I was gonna try to attempt to take it to the next level, and try to make them, my girl. I kind of seen that she liked me, and because I had seen her another time, but she had a boyfriend. I seen her another time when I was at bike week when I graduated, so senior week. I stayed in her room. One of our mutual friends bought a hotel room. We all stayed together. So I had been seeing her in run-ins, but when she was open, to have a relationship, I'm like, man, I'm gonna try to have an adult relationship with somebody, because I only had like a high school. I call it a kiddie high school relationship that I didn't at all.
What about her made you say, I would want to take this serious. I would want to settle down?
I think the fact that first off, I had already had a crush on her since I was a kid. But the fact that I seen how she was very down to earth. She was very like cool. She used to I'm gonna be honest with you, the time when I really knew, I had to get 2 teeth pulled on the back at one time. So my face was swollen, I was asleep. I was messed up. They had me on all kind of high medicine, hydrocodone. So I came to her house, I came to her mama's house in the country. They were staying in this big yellow house in the country. And I just came there and I was talking to her and I blacked out. I woke up the next day and like I had a little cover on me and she was asleep, So when I woke up, I'm like, and I just left. I didn't even tell her I was leaving. I kind of just, and then I was like, yeah, I really do like her, because I mean, she didn't bother me. She just let me rest. She knew I was in pain. I was hurting, but she just kind of like just soothed me and let me go to sleep on me, and slept beside me. And her mama, they let me sleep on the couch. But I was messed up. I had all kind of stuff in my mouth, cotton balls, bleeding. So, yeah.
And of course, y'all become official. At this point, is it hard for you? Like you said, you hadn't been in a serious relationship since high school. So is it hard for you to really maneuver in this new, like, monogamous relationship?
Yeah, it is. It's hard, just like it is for any other dude, because I am, I'm still Plat. I'm still making music, still running around, and I'm not used to like my ex, my other girlfriend. I didn't never have to deal with nobody who challenged me. Like if I tell you I'm doing this, I'm doing that. If I tell you I'm pulling up at your house at 7:00 and I never come, she just take it. But this one wasn't taking it. This one was calling me, come to where I'm at. She raising hell. So it was a different narrative. But I also liked it though, in some kind of weird way. It's like, damn, it seemed like she cared more than the other one. Because the other one did have other dudes she was messing with. You know what I'm saying? So this one, even though she raising hell, embarrassing me in front of my homeboy sometimes, she cared a little more. Even though the other girl didn't care, but she was fucking off on me. So,
do you feel like it was that she didn't care, or do you feel like she was just young too? So maybe she just thought, because I mean, as an adult now looking back,
she didn't know. She just wasn't, or she wasn't that type of girl. She just wasn't arguing with me and doing all this. And like I was childish, like I could have said this or did that, but she necessarily, she probably wasn't with all that. You know what I'm saying? I never say, but I do know that she didn't. When it came to me, she kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. But I didn't know that she was done.
Yeah.
She led me on to believe that she wasn't done, but she just did my thing, and then. But you know, that to me that was childish stuff because we were both young, and that
Yeah.
still keep.
So at this point, y'all official, even though, you know, y'all going through whatever. But then you find out that she's pregnant. Do you remember? I mean, because this you 4 in now, but I want to take you all the way back. Do you
Oh man,
remember?
I remember like it was. I was high as a motherfucker. It was like 2:30 in the morning. Me and my boy Jock Franklin were riding through McCormick. Me and him in my car playing music. We went to the bottom. We were smoking in the car. She sent me a picture of the pregnancy stick, and I looked at it. Then I gave him a picture to look at it. He looked at it. He was like, "What the hell?" He was like, "Damn, bro." Like, real.
What do you remember feeling though?
I was scared. I was scared as a motherfucker. I was like, "Damn." I wasn't prepared. I was scared. I didn't have a job. I was in the streets for real then. Like I was like, this is probably, I call this our unemployment years, and my boy Juice can attest to this. I think Pete. I think it was like 5 of us all that lost our job at the same time, and we really was running around at this time. Like them boys really jumped in the street knee deep then, but I was really like, I was middleman and I was gambling. I was just doing, but like I wasn't working. Like, because I remember I wasn't working because when I told my daddy that I had to away later, it was probably like 6 months in. He was like, "Man, you need a job," and that's how God worked, man. God, my job that had laid me off or fired me or whatever they did, they called me back. Like I think she was like 7 pregnant. They called me back to give me a position offered by cousin. Our cousin Red Jack had amped me up so much. Like, man, he's smart. Bring him in here. I'm gonna get him to set these machines up because I do work with CNC machines. He's like, man, I need him. So they hired me back, gave me like 15, 16. And at that time, I think like that's like 2009, 2008. I'm getting paid $15, $16 and being a lead. And I'm like 21 years old. Like that was big for anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were thinking about marriage?
Yeah. I thought of marriage. I was 2 kids in. And she gave me an ultimatum. Like she like, I don't want to sit here and just waste my time, Chris. If you don't want to marry me, you need to let me know. And I was more so like, okay, but I don't know because we still got our things we on. So about getting married or nothing. So she left. She had a job working at TD Bank. When she left, she moved to Greenville. And
And so you said that y'all were 2 kids in, so your oldest was what age at the time?
okay, I want to say maybe 2 because they real close together. The other one was I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe 8 months, 10 months. But she moved. Man, she like, I'm just gonna go up here. You do what you gotta do. And then I was down there in the apartment by myself. My kids was up there. I used to go up there on the weekend to see them and shit. And that shit really hurt me. Like to go up there to be a dad on the weekend and on Sunday, I come back and And I'd be like, when I come back on Sunday and be clubbing and shit, and I'd be drinking, I'm looking around, I'm like, man, this shit ain't where it at. Because
I remember you came down Mom's house when she was in that trailer in Plumber, and you were laid out on the couch. And I'm like, what are you gonna do? You know, I'm asking you like, because I'm going to school. What the hell you gonna do? You know, and you was talking about, you know what, I might go work at BMW. You know, I was like, okay, well that's good. You start working at BMW and you start complaining.
I didn't want to leave from where I was because at that time, $16, $17 being a lead person. I worked like I was a boss. I was a boss there. Like I didn't want to leave. So it kind of like was like I didn't want to leave. But
I see that in a lot of professions though, it's hard to start over. You got to be trained again. You got to go back to the bottom again, and you don't feel superior anymore. Like I felt like I was teaching you. Now I feel like I'm back getting taught. I'm a student again. But eventually you did leave though. And do you feel it was because you wanted that family unit?
I needed that family. I wasn't gonna let no another man be raising my kids, man. I wouldn't let no another man come in and be playing with my kids, and I come and pick them up on the weekend. I wasn't about to do that no more. Like that I saw in my childhood. I wasn't about to do that, you know. And I love the girl. Like I wasn't even about to play with it like I did. I had to put my pride to the side because it was other dudes probably in her and other females in my ear. And it could have went either way, but I said, you know what? I'm about to go up here. I'm about to take a leap of faith. And I had to start over as a temp. And that shit, even though I was making damn near the same money because Greenville is a whole different we work atmosphere. Like you getting paid more up here. It's bigger in area. From the country, I ain't never stayed in no big city, but it's like, damn, man, I ain't want to like come up here and get swapped. Because I had been up here at school and I didn't finish that. I failed at that. So I was nervous about that. So
I was about to say, I remember when you started. And I was like, how you like it? You had nothing good to say about it. And you was like, I don't like this. I'm running around. Like you just like, I don't like not knowing. So, I mean, what did you feel like when you did start working at BMW? Even though it's a great job, when you had to start from scratch and you sound like you were stressed out just talking about it, you were like, man, I don't know about this.
Physically, it was hard. It was, I wasn't used to working physical. The last physical job I had was working at that cotton mill, so it took me back to that, even though I'm getting paid. But it took me back to, damn, I'm busting my motherfucking ass every day. People like laugh, I'm sweating. The first day I walked in, I had a hat on. I had like a Kuja hat on. I was trying to be cool, had my little dreads and stuff. But I started sweating, and I had to take the hat off. And I was like, man, I'm getting my ass kicked up in here.
Right.
I'm hurting, and I'm like, the fuck? And then I never forget, I went up on break, and they had like these lounge couches because they got it nice in there. So I'm laying out on the lounge couch. I'm like, man, I'm about to quit. I called Drill and told him, I'm like, man, I'm about to quit this shit because this shit is fucking hard. And I'm down there. They was trying to give me a raise to come back to Greenwood. They were trying to give me like $22 or something to be a supervisor. But a lot of my homeboys had already left for bigger opportunities. Rest in peace to Adam. He was a Spanish that he left big opportunity. And shout out to my boy Kent because Kent had left. He got a job, I want to say, at Eaton. Or they had big interviews at GE and about to get put on at GE. So them guys was moving on from the plant too, and they didn't even have no kids. They was like, bro, this dead end down here. And I'm like, damn, so it gotta be something more because my guys moving that work with me, that I'm cool with, that I have fun with, but it's kind of like that time of my life was coming to an end. I had to just come to realization with that. Hey, this shit over. Us running around. We used to be drinking on break. We used to go eat. We used to be smoking on our break, go smoke weed, come back in the plant high, long as we get our work done. It was not, but we got our work done and you still making money, but we still was like kids. But it was like, it come to a time where everybody was like, man, we done with it. We about to go out here because we really young kids that know how to CNC set up. We can make money out here. So it was in me too. Plus my family was up here and I'm like, man, I'm not about to just give my family away to another man because I'm selfish. I had to make a choice.
So you stuck with it, and did it become easier for you? Because I mean, you did stay with it.
Man, I took over. I stayed with it. I learned the job. I learned, and BMW is now, I'm grateful. Like it's taking care of my family for all these years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I really been put in a position to take care of my family and do all these great things and move up in the company. Like one of the only companies that you can work in without a college degree where you can move up and actually be put in engineer position, new model position. I didn't turn down a lot of positions just because I don't want to leave my family because it's way too important in my family, my kids, my girls. It's just me being in the household. I don't want to miss out on a lot of with them. So I kind of like, I take the opportunity in it to me with the company, but I've been presented with opportunities that's outside of the company. Like, hey, we're gonna send you to Germany. We're gonna do this, that, like, and I ain't got to that point yet because, you know, and I, you know, I know if I take that next step, then everything else in my life has to take the back end. Somewhat my family, like a lot of stuff got to take the back end when you take responsibility like that. Like go to Germany to be the lead of the new model cars, out the electrical PHEVs, and I'll take a back seat. I'm not doing no music no more. I'm not doing that. So I've been real cautious of the decisions and opportunities that I take. So, but I'm still grateful company and that I'm a real leader.
So that's Chris Moton with the strategic. Like it's timing. You know, I'm a plan this out for the perfect timing, right?
Yeah, most definitely. That's Chris putting Plat behind him.
Right.
Like not behind me totally, but just like hey, second seat to this. And people at my job see me do the music and they're like, man, you fantastic with the music. And it's just like, you know, sometimes you gotta make conscious decisions and you gotta judge this life that we call life, and you gotta make conscious decisions and you gotta be real cautious of the things that you choose to do at certain times. And I chose to thrive within my company right now to build up my independent status. You know what I'm saying?
So you stay and y'all end up having another child. This child ends up being a boy. And I don't know if you believe in divine intervention, but
what?
I was about to say, when you found out you were having a boy, what do you feel like happened internally?
I mean, this was the only child that we ever had that was playing. Like she told me, we laid and we loved each other. And she told me, she was like, I'm gonna give you a son. And so when the time came, I was too nervous to even go to the gender thing. So I didn't go. And she came back and she knocked on the door. I didn't know who it was. There was some boxes at the door.
It was recorded. I remember that.
Yeah.
Recorded it for us.
When I saw a bunch of blue balloons, I still didn't catch on. What the hell are you doing? And then she's like, it's a boy. And I'm like, yeah. Because I was real big on a boy because our legacy in our family, you know, how much y'all have boys. My older sister had a bunch of boys. And he like, but you know, they're gonna have the boys and
Their
you.
dad's last name, right?
You know what I'm saying? So I was real proud to have that one boy. So, and he was the only baby that I can say that we like was prepared to have. The rest of the babies, I ain't gonna say we weren't prepared, because you know what you're doing when you
Right.
but we was like, man, I'm like, man, I appreciate all my kids and her bearing all them babies and pushing all them babies out. I was right there as she pushed all them babies, and been there with them since I came out of there and out them hospitals. I've been there every step of the way.
And I ask everybody this question, especially because everybody grows up different, but what about your children's childhood are you doing differently than yours?
I fall short in a lot of stuff in my children's child, because I'll still work a lot. So a lot of the boat or the load is on drill. A lot of the sacrifice she have to take when somebody got to quit a job because we ain't got no babysitter. When somebody got to stay home when the kids sick. When she get a job, and she got to be the one to take the back end of it. And that's why when she really get on her shit, because she real talented and she do things, but when she get on her shit, I try to support her and try to push her, because I know she had to take the back end of us having all these kids, which both of us love them. And I try not to make it seem like, hey, it's just all about me and you, a stay-at-home wife. And no, because she's not more talented than me, like when it comes to creating a way to her to make revenue. You know what I'm saying? So I try to push her to make the money. But to answer your question, it was just like,
What do you notice you do differently?
I think what I did differently within raising my kids is just the small things. I try to fix the small things. Like I try to show up at basketball practice. I try to show up at the basketball games. I try to, when you want to do something, I try to talk to them. I try to, when we in the back more, I try to talk to them about, I try to help with homework when I come home. I try to be what the things that my daddy wouldn't, but I still fall short at some things because I'm just trying to fix the things that wasn't done in my childhood. But some of the things that they need, I think with me and Drew making the sacrifice and going through a lot of the turmoil and a lot of the behavior of being with each other since we was younger, and then growing up and trying to grow through all that, I think us together helps, because it's some things that, man, if I was by myself and I had to talk to them girls about, like, having periods and all that, man, I'm so glad I got a wife that I ain't got to deal with it. I can go get the pads and we can go there. But the things that I'm doing different, I'm fixing the things that I didn't do. That my daddy didn't do. Like, my daddy didn't come to games. My daddy came to one of my games. I showed out. I was just scoring points. He poked his head in. He was so happy, but he had to leave because he had to go back to work. But I try to do that, like Saturday mornings, and put them in travel ball and put them in stuff, and also like be attentive with them about family. Like I take them to our cousin's house. I let them play with their cousins. I take them to parks. I talk, you know what I'm saying? I try to be more attentive with them than my daddy was with me. He kind of let me run wild, and he kind of forgot about his girls. Like, my daddy kind of forgot about his girls, man. Like, I don't want to forget about my girls, because I felt like I was at a position when I was growing up that, man, I had to fill the void in my daddy because about his girls. Like, not just giving them a few dollars, but just checking on them, letting them know, like, hey, I got you. Let me give you a hug. And like, I love my sisters. I love Candice. So I try to step in because I know how important that is as a man with them girls because them
Mm-hmm.
girls daddy. And
Yeah.
I know he probably got a little better, but you know, for a long time he forgot about his girls. Like even though your boy off, he's doing what he doing, but you got girls too.
Yeah. I
You
want
got,
to I want to tell a story for the people before we go. Then I got one more question that I ask everybody before I sign off. But this is a story of how he would handle me as a little sister. Like he wanted to not lie, but the story is funny. So everybody know the only reason why, especially when we got older and older, the only reason why I would come to the country is so I can still see you, right? And so I hated when you got a car because I was like, this nigga don't never be at home now because he got this little car. So I remember being like, I'm not coming down there if you gonna leave. And you like, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't even got no plans this weekend. I'm like, okay, well, cool. I come down there. You got your basketball clothes. I'm like, nope, you did this last time. You like, I'm just going to play basketball. And I was like, no, you did this last time. You had a bet. You like, I ain't even got no bet with me. That's how you know I'm coming back. So in my mind, my childish mind, I'm like, well, yeah, he ain't got no bag with him, so he gotta come back. I'm sitting there, it done turned dark. I'm like, this nigga done did it again. He had clothes in his trunk, y'all.
yeah. I was living out my trunk.
He was
I was
prepared. But
but
you
you
didn't like, you didn't want to hurt my feelings and you didn't want to not tell. But that was still, I used to be like, you know what?
let me tell you another quick trunk story for the listeners. That's how much brother love her too. I was shooting ball. I was smoking dope. Sent up the smoke.
Not dope. You know how they say, not crack.
Oh, please. I was sitting there. My mama called me and said, your sister wants you to come up here and your sister to the prom. I was in gym clothes. 2 hours away. I was 2 hours away. I was gambling on the court in Edgefield. So I was actually 30 minutes from the country. She said, come up here. Teresa wants you. I said, Mom, why you just can't drop off? She said, she ain't going if her brother don't take her. So you know what I did? I had them same clothes in the trunk. And I came up. And you know what I did? I drove my sister to the prom. Yeah. I dropped off. I put some fresh clothes on. I was like, do I need to go? She was like, she don't want you to go in there. I'm like, man, I go. She don't want you to go in there. And I came back and picked up. I stayed at mama's house until you got done. And, you know, I love my sisters, man. I love my mama to death. So them girls, sometimes the smallest thing means everything. So,
but with females, they just want you to show up. It's not what you got with you. They just want you to show up because as a female, you want to be seen and heard. If you hear girls and you feel like they complaining or they just, that means that they don't feel heard, they don't feel seen. You know.
Oh, you know I know by now.
Yeah. So if you had to describe yourself with one word, what would that word be?
Oh man, if I had to, I am an amazing human being. If I had to, amazing.
I was like, that ain't one word. Amazing.
Amazing because why I say that is because, man, like I like to see people happy. When you come around me, I don't want to hear about nothing that's going on bad in your life. I don't care if you married to my sister. I don't care if you married to my mama. I don't care if you married you my sister, old lady brother, or if you his sister-in-law, mother-in-law. When we get around each other, I'm gonna make sure you have a good time. I'm gonna make sure you laugh with me. I'm gonna make sure that them kids, I got a little piece of candy in my pocket or something to make them kids smile. Amazing is what I can say because I give a lot of myself when I'm in big groups of people, and you feel my love when it's real. You know, even when I'm out having fun and drinking and smoking and I'm just doing my thing, like you still feel that I come from, my intentions are good. Now, I still am a gambler, and I can be a slick person.
Still human, right?
And I'm gonna try to finesse and get my way because I'm a leader of a household. But when it comes to me as the pure person that Chris is, even Plat, you know, when it comes to me and all, like I'm amazing because I want to give you some of the advice that I didn't got, because I don't feel like, we just had this conversation on last night, me and my wife riding back from the movie theater. I don't listen to a lot of people. I don't get a lot of advice from a lot of people because I don't think a lot of people got the words to tell me, because I was a young father. I was a young person taking over a household. I grind. All the shortcomings that came, I took that shit. I took every lick that I ever had and put it on my back. I took every lick that my wife had and put it on my back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I took everything in, but I'm also now kind of like focusing on the rehabilitation part of how to be a better person. So I'm really focused on how to be a better brother, mother, not brother, son, uncle. I want to be better in other areas, not just a dad and a husband, but I want to be better in other areas because my calling is bigger. So I'm just an amazing person.
I always tell people though, I say, you know, be careful, you know, trying to heal yourself, because you can end up giving yourself an infection because you got all these hits on you, right? You say you're taking all these hits and you know, just put a Band-Aid or wrap it up, you know, with something, not properly treating it or giving yourself the time to heal or having somebody else to step in, because the way certain people's childhood is that they don't know how to even ask for help if they wanted to, or they might not even want to ask for help because so they just gonna wrap the wound up, put a Band-Aid over and keep doing what they used to doing, not knowing that you're supposed to let this particular wound air out to heal. Yeah. So now you causing it to suffocate, to get an infection. It's gonna take longer to heal. So, you know, make sure that you allowing your wounds to heal properly. And sometimes it might need some assistance from other people to help.
That's what I was getting to, and I'm more open now because now me and my wife were talking about we got to do marriage counseling because, you know, we've been married 10 years, so we actually got to tap into so we're tapping into marriage counseling, and we're also tapping into financial counseling as well. Like, me thinking that just because I'm the breadwinner, I need to be in control of everything, and I need to do this or do that.
But you know, financial planning, I created I created literature that's my last year. I taught financial literacy for our kids, and I created a whole concept, a class. You had to take 2 of them, and I'll give you a certificate, and that's how we would pay for your stuff. So if you didn't come to my class, you couldn't get your payment for stuff. But I set it up that way because what I'm teaching you, even if I was to give you a check, what I was noticing when I was cutting the checks, 6 months later, you was coming back saying that they about to repo your car. I just cut you a $1,200 check. So I said, I need to teach them not to just I need to teach you how to keep it and how to budget and how to. So it's important because I know people grown that make twice as much as me and they still living as if they working at Hardee's or working at McDonald's. So that's important.
You talking about me a little bit because, you know, even though I got a lot of expenses and I got a lot of things, it's a lot of, I'm stuck still in the country ways of how we was raised to think. I don't think like I'm prosperous or I deserve this or I need this. My mindset is that I always lack. You know, I understand that when it comes to money and when it comes to stuff, that's why I always think I gotta gamble and I always gotta hit a lick or I always gotta, you know, I always think I don't have enough. But so now trying to fix that with being grateful, you know, certain level, because it takes small steps.
And I don't even think that's a country concept because I think that way and it's a poverty. If you've ever lived in poverty, and I remember Mama saying, Shaka told me they were driving. She said she told me that she didn't know we was homeless. I didn't know I said a lot of people wouldn't know because you were still smiling and being in the church, and I was still going to school, cracking jokes, making people laugh. Nobody knew we were living in hotels. Nobody knew we was going and living with relatives. Nobody knew we were homeless. We didn't look homeless because she did hair. So our hair would be done and we would have on clean clothes, but we had nowhere to live. So when you come from poverty, you always gonna think, yeah, I'm straight, but I gotta be straight. I gotta be straight. Like, what's next? Like, you're gonna always have it because you don't want to go back there. Which it can help motivate you to be a grinder, but it can also limitate you because you never will feel like you are stable. Yeah. Even when you in stability, you still gonna be trying to get to the bad, so to speak.
Hey, look, I'm still like, I wake up thinking about what I can do today. I feel like I'm losing when I ain't at work. That is not a healthy fit. Like, I don't like to be at peace where I can rest. When I wake up, I'm like, man, I got this time. What I'm about to do today? I'm about to jump up, clean up, I might do this, and then I might jump out here. I'm about to throw me a card party. I'm about to do this. I'm about to throw that.
And Butthead say all the time, he like, you work. He be like, buy something for yourself. But when you've been in poverty, like it's like you want to, like you don't want to spend your money. It's like you holding on, you scared.
I'm up.
Right. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna keep this just in case because I don't know, and I don't want to go back to not having it. So, like you said, it's a dangerous thing, but it can, just how you learn bad behavior, like a toddler learn, you can unlearn it. You condition your mind to not think that way.
And I ain't gonna lie, I have to be open-minded and on one accord with my companion. I have to let her know when we ain't got it sometimes, because I just like to see her smile so much whenever she done sat down and told me, like, Chris, if you let me know what we got going on, you can set it up, just do. We done had a conversation, so.
Well, I want to thank you for taking this time out. Look, right? Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this thing to a part two. We done got into some things, but what's crazy, y'all? We literally have only tapped the surface. It's multiple layers that still have not been uncovered. So I'm sure it's gonna be much more to see and to hear.
We can do a part 3 because it's so much stuff that we didn't talk about. Like, cause we our bond of us being we ain't talking about a lot of things about the death of our brother. It's a lot of stuff. So I'm most definitely looking forward to this. I had a good time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm glad. Let all the people know because it might be somebody that watched this and want to message you for advice, want to book you, want to see some of your music. Can you drop? I'm gonna put it in the description of this video, but let them know where they can follow you if they do want to follow you on any type of social media.
Yeah, you can follow me on social media. I'm at Chris Moton at CHRS space MOTON. That's on Facebook. Instagram is PLA.T_. That's Instagram. And on all platforms, if you want to hear any of my music, that's Plat Straight Drop. That's PLATSTR8, the number 8. Straight Drop.
And you got any upcoming events or any music that's dropping anytime soon?
I got an EP coming up in the next month or so with this MC up here called Rick the Ruler. I got another EP coming up with shout out to this white artist called TB Geek. I'm tapping into a whole nother era. We're doing something else with him. I got other interviews coming up with Hood Saviors and I think it's Sirius XM. I don't know the other one, but also booking a party bus event when it comes to album release with yours truly. Hopefully she can host it. Ain't busy.
Trying to put it bid in.
Up and coming album, Feelings Mutual. So we just having fun, man. We're gonna continue to have fun. We're gonna continue to have this dialogue and continue to build, and man, hopefully the conversation can reach people and help each other.
Yeah, and I always tell people, if it only resonate or motivate one person, we done the job. If somebody watched this and they pull something from it, then we did the job. I just wanted to reach at least one person.
When Black people can come together I love everything. Like when we can come together and talk about issues, we can come together and have good conversation where we're not down on each other and uplifting each other. And I love to see the little platforms blow up, because it seems like you on your way, girl. You about to blow up.
Oh, I'm gonna blow up.
I'm just out here trying to get my set right, really, yeah. I'm just out here trying to get my set right, really, yeah. I need a moment of clarity. Give me some limelight, remix my Sprite. Red Dixie called ice. I'm just out here trying to get my set right, really, yeah. I'm just out here trying to get my set right, really, yeah. Moving straight up out of county jail, like bitch, what the hell my property? Glad I'm like the blueprint, the other suckers obsolete. Simon says, never mind, don't copy me. Cause on the mic, y'all ready rockin'. I'm the opium out the poppy leaf. Since dream never gets reached.